Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we are going to learn how to create live webinar registrant on Zoho form submission. So here, as a business coach, I am conducting various webinars for my clients and I am using live webinar for managing all the clients as well as the webinars. Now to take the registrations for these webinars, I am using Zoho Forms. So I want that every time a new registration form is going to be submitted in Zoho Forms, automatically the person who has submitted the form should be added as a registrant in live webinar. Now to automate this entire process, we will have to set up the connection between Zoho Forms and live webinar, and that we are going to do without any coding and any programming skills with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you also want to learn this amazing automation step by step for your business, for that you have to come towards my screen. Welcome to my screen everyone. In this video, I am going to show you step by step that how we can automatically create meeting or webinar registrants in live webinar whenever form will be submitted in Zoho Forms. So as a business coach, I am conducting various webinars on personal finance, financial management and digital marketing services for my clients, businesses and individuals. Alright, for taking the registration of these webinars, I am using Zoho Forms. I have created a registration form and I want that as soon as through my website, when a client is going to submit this registration form, when they will be interested in attending my webinars, automatically the person who has submitted the form should be added as an attendee. That means as a registrant in my webinar, in live webinar. To automate this entire process of creating registrants in live webinars for Zoho Form submission, we will have to set up the connection between Zoho Forms and live webinars, and that we are going to do without any coding and programming skills with the help of Pabbly Connect. So Pabbly Connect is an amazing automation and integration software which helps us to automate all our daily repetitive tasks without any coding or any programming skills, simply by setting up connections between our work applications. So with the help of Pabbly Connect, we will connect our Zoho Forms and live webinar. So let's get started. This is the home page of Pabbly Connect, where we can reach by typing the URL pabbly.com/connect in our browser. After coming over here, we will find two options: sign in and sign up for free. So when you are an existing user like me, you can directly click on sign in to log into your account. But if you are a new user, you have to click on this sign up for free button. It will help you to create a free new account just in 2 minutes. Also, when you will do that, you're going to receive 100 free tasks every month to explore this amazing software and to test multiple automations. So as an existing user, currently I'm going to click on sign in. This is all app section where we can find all the products which are offered by Pabbly. To create this automation, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. So let's click on access now. It has taken us towards the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. On the dashboard, we can find all the workflows which we have created. And to save the workflows, we can also create separate folders like this. Now to create a new workflow, let's click on this create workflow option. As we have done that, a dialog box has appeared in front of us, which is asking us to provide a name to this workflow. So first of all, let me provide a name over here. Create live webinar registrant on Zoho form submission. After giving the name to my workflow, I'm going to select the folder. So you can see I have a list of folders over here. Among these folders, the automation which I'm going to create currently is related to the webinars and meetings. So here I'm going to select automations for webinar and meetings because I've already created a separate folder for that. In the similar manner, for different kind of workflows, different kind of purposes, you can create separate folders in your dashboard. Alright, now I'm going to click on create. So my workflow will get saved in the folder which I have selected. And as you can see, we have a new screen open in front of us. The screen contains two extremely important windows. Here we have trigger and we have action. So what are trigger and actions? Trigger and actions are the two main concepts, the principles, or we can say these are the building blocks on which the entire automation works. The trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. That means the action is a response towards our trigger. So whatever we are going to select in our trigger is going to command the entire workflow and the actions are going to follow that same command. Therefore, we can have only one trigger in any workflow, but we can add as many action steps as we want. Now let's suppose I want that every time I'm going to receive a new Zoho form submission by an interested client or lead, automatically that person who has submitted the form should be added as a registrant in live webinar. For that, I'm going to take Zoho Forms in trigger and live webinar in my action step. When we are going to build the connection between these applications, then we will see that action is going to follow what the trigger commands. Because when the trigger happens, that means when the form will be submitted in Zoho Forms, then only the registrant will be added in live webinar, otherwise not. So after understanding the whole concept of trigger and action, let us start creating our automation step by step. To start with the process, first of all, let's go towards our trigger step and let us select our trigger application. By using which application you want to start your workflow. So I want that when the form will be submitted in Zoho Forms, then my workflow should start. So Zoho Forms will be our trigger application over here. Let's select that. Then we have to select the trigger event. So on the happening of which specific event in Zoho Forms you want to capture the response and you want to start your workflow. So I want that when new form will be submitted in Zoho Forms, then my workflow should start. You can see here we have received a webhook URL and also we have received some instructions. So basically we have to follow the given instructions step by step carefully to set up the connection between Zoho Forms and Pabbly Connect. How we are going to do that? By inserting the webhook URL inside the specific form which you want to connect with Pabbly Connect. So let's copy the webhook URL and then I am going to show you each and every step, because when you insert the webhook URL inside the form, then this webhook URL is going to act as a bridge for transferring the data of every new form submitted in Zoho Forms towards Pabbly Connect, and that too automatically. So after coming on Zoho Forms, so here you can see that these are the 3 forms I have which I have created for different purposes. You can also have multiple forms in your Zoho Forms account, but you have to connect a specific one. So this is the registration form which I have created specifically for taking the registrations in my webinar. So here we'll select this form and we'll go towards edit option. If you have not created the form, you can just create the form like this by adding the fields which you want. My form is already created. I only want this much details: first name, last name, email and the phone number for taking the registration. Okay, so we'll go towards integrations from top. After coming on integrations, when we'll see the left side and when we'll scroll down, here we have the option of webhooks. So let's select that quickly. After coming on webhook option, here we have webhook URL. So we have to paste the webhook URL which we have received from Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to quickly delete the existing one as I already have an existing webhook URL over here. So I will delete that and I will just paste the recent webhook URL which we have recently received from Pabbly Connect. Then here the content type will be application JSON and authorization type will be general. Inside payload parameters, these are the form fields which we have. We have first name, last name, email and the phone number. So we are going to receive these details in the response. Then we'll simply click on save. And as we have done that, the connection between Zoho Form and Pabbly Connect is built successfully with this registration form. So now we'll go back towards Pabbly Connect. It is showing waiting for webhook response. This means that once we have set up the connection between Zoho Forms and Pabbly Connect, we are waiting for the response of the form submission. How we are going to capture the response? By making the test submission. To do the test submission, we will go back towards Zoho Forms and the form is already connected with Pabbly Connect. So we'll click on this share option. And here we have the link of the form. So I'm going to simply copy it and I'm going to open it in a new tab in front of you. So that as the form is open, I'm going to submit the form with some dummy details. Let's start with a name. Let's say the name of the person who is submitting the form is Amazing Client. Okay, let's say the first name is Amazing and the last name is Client. You can see. Here I'm going to use a demo email as well. Amazing300@pablitudes.com, and let's say the phone number of this client is. Okay, as we have done that, now submit the form. As soon as we have submitted the form, let's go back towards Pabbly Connect. For a few seconds, we'll wait so that the response could be captured. And here you can see that the response is received. In our response, we have received all the details. You can see here we have the first name of the client, we have the last name, their phone number and the email. And all these details, if you look carefully, they are exactly the same as we have submitted in the form. So once we have received the response, this means our connection between Zoho Forms and Pabbly Connect is absolutely successful. And now every time the form is going to be submitted, the response of that form is going to be captured in Pabbly Connect automatically. Once we have received the response, our objective is to create the registrant in live webinar. So this is the webinar for which I am taking the registrations, which is scheduled for 23rd of January, 12 p.m. It is a 30-minute webinar, Fundamentals of Personal Finance. So I want to create the attendee in this particular webinar only. So I'm going to go back towards Pabbly Connect. We will go towards action step and we will select live webinar as our action application over here. And now we are going to build the connection. For that, let us first of all select the action event. What you want? I want to create the webinar registrant. So I will select the same, create webinar registrant as my action event. Now we'll build the connection. For building the connection, you can see I'm already logged into my live webinar account. You also have to keep in mind that you should keep logging to the applications which you want to connect with Pabbly Connect for making the connection easier and simple. Now we'll click on this connect button. Here we have 2 options. So if you already have an existing connection with live webinar, you can just go with that. But I'm going to show you to build a new connection. For that, I've already selected add new connection option and we'll click on the button connect with live webinar. As we have done that, now Pabbly Connect is asking us for the permission to access our live webinar account. And because our data is 100% safe with Pabbly Connect, so let's click on authorize. We have provided the permission. And as we have done that, the authorization has become successful and the connection between live webinar and Pabbly Connect is also built successfully. So now we have to enter the details in these fields to create the registrant over there. Now, first of all, it is asking us webinar with enabled registration. In which webinar you want to add the registrant. So here this is the name of my webinar, Fundamentals of Personal Finance, for which I am taking the registration. So I will simply select the same from the drop down, Fundamentals of Personal Finance. Then we have the registration form ID, which is already selected over here according to the webinar. Now we have to provide the name of the registrant as well as the email address. So here we have received all these details already in our earlier response. So instead of entering the data manually, to automate the process, we will simply map the data. So it is asking us the registrant name. Here we have the first name. With a space, we will insert the last name as well. So we have mapped the full name. When we have mapped this name, it has become dynamic. That means with each and every new response, automatically it is going to replace. So every time a new client is going to submit my Zoho forms, the response is going to be captured, and as the new response will be captured, the details which I am going to map in these fields are going to replace automatically. In this way, we are going to automate the entire process of creating registrants in live webinars for every new Zoho form submission. Then we have the registrant email. So here let's map that as well. Then when we'll scroll down here, we have to enter the first name as well, last name, and the email as well. Once again, I've mapped all these details, and now I'm going to click on save and send test request button. As we have done that, you can see that the response is captured. It is saying that the registration is created successfully. We have the data ID as well. So I'm going to quickly take you towards my webinar in live webinar. Here we have the webinar, we have the attendees as well. So I'm going to open the attendees, and you can see that yes, here we have amazing client which is already created. We have the same email as well. This means our connection between Zoho Forms and live webinar is absolutely successful. And now every time form will be submitted in Zoho Forms, automatically the person who has submitted the form will be added as a registrant in our webinar, in live webinar. So once we have set up the connection, we will simply test the workflow once again whether it is running fine or not. For this, I will once again take you towards Zoho Forms. We will copy the link of the form quickly. I will open it in a new tab, and once again with some dummy details, this time new details, I'm going to submit the form. So let's say this time the name of the client is test client. Let's say the email is test65@pablitudes.com. Here we have the phone number, and I will submit the form. As soon as the form is submitted, quickly I'm going to take you towards live webinar. We will refresh the attendees section. And we can see that yes, test client is added over here as a new registrant in our webinar with the same email address. So this means our connection is absolutely successful, and also our workflow is running fine. So you can also very easily create this amazing automation for your business, for your webinars and meetings, to quickly add all the registrants who are interested in your webinars without any manual efforts. So I hope this automation is clear to you. Also, it is helpful for your business. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but you can integrate multiple such amazing applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. Now, if you have any doubt, you can email us at support@pabbly.com. If you want to ask any doubt, you can write us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you want to ask about the pricing, you can visit this website given over here. Do not forget to share our videos, like our video, and also subscribe our channel for more such amazing automations.